My name is Leopold. The notion that you are in charge of the creation of your reality is not a curse. You are not damned because of this truth. Indeed, you are blessed because of it. Though, upon realization of this idea that you are indeed creating your reality, one must pause for a moment to identify what is reality. Your reality is how you are feeling at any given moment. That is your reality. It is neither your physical environment, nor it is situations that are unfolding, though very well it seems to be the cause of your feelings, that which is unfolding around you. And each one of you has great evidence to support the way that you feel right now, whether it is deep pain, confusion, or great joy and peace. You have evidence for these feelings. And no one can take that away from you, nor perhaps would you want them to, unless you are seeking to be free of certain emotions that you feel you cannot seem to escape. And that these emotions are intrinsically and unequivocally linked to the outcome of what is happening in your lives. That your emotions shall then come from what is occurring or not occurring, as if your truth is suspect. What is this truth? Perhaps the truth that you are love, that you are joy, that you are God essence, that you are eternal beings, and everyone whom you know is as well. Perhaps this truth has eluded you. For many, it was lost at a certain age in childhood. For some, it was regarded as when you began to shut down, when the music suddenly became less harmonious in your orchestration, let us say. When you perhaps began to decide whether you are safe here on this plane, this planet, or you are not safe, and that others are not safe. And there are good and bad people, and there are good and bad places, and there is right and there is wrong. And you have made an entire society, and many societies that have predated this particular one, that is based upon what you feel is right and wrong. In fact, your laws are based upon what you strive to be, perhaps not even what you are. For you seem to need a law to tell you not to kill each other. Apparently you do, though it doesn't seem to stop you from killing each other, does it? For if you are sufficiently enough enraged, a person shall then strike another. And so, do your laws deter behavior? When you are in your vehicle and you are speeding down the road, certainly far above the speed limit, you only slow down when there is an officer perhaps in your sight, correct? Some of you have spent a certain amount of money on detection machines. What is a radar? It is a sensitive signal, a frequency that is picking up other frequencies beyond what your eyes can see, beyond what your ears can hear. And so it is detecting perhaps that there is a police officer nearby who is going to check to see if you are obeying the law. And then you are being detected. You see, obviously you do not believe in the law, do you? If you believed in the law, you would not go past the speed limit. And perhaps the speed limit is not a very accurate representation of how fast some of you actually naturally wish to go in your vehicles. And so you have developed a whole system of right and wrong. That is a simple example. You will go whatever speed you feel comfortable in. Some feel very comfortable going 90 miles an hour and some 30 miles an hour. And some would say the one going slower perhaps is even more dangerous to traffic than the one who is speeding along. You want everything to be just so. You want it to be not too fast and not too slow, not too hot and not too cold. And all of these demarcation points are relative to where you are. For there is no such thing as hot or cold in the universe, is there? There is only temperature that you have picked a gauge. You have decided what is zero and what is below zero or above. But we can guarantee you that your extraterrestrial brethren do not have such thermometers. It is not hot or cold. It is hot for you or cold for you. The temperature is simply a temperature. This brings us to you not only surviving in your current climate, and we are speaking in your personal life, that means your life. We are not speaking of the temperatures of the sun and the moon, the wind. Your personal environment, the climate there, the climate within you. If you are merely surviving, or are you thriving? Does thriving require great amounts of energy? Let us pause on that question for a moment. Does surviving require great amounts of energy? Yes, perhaps to both. And while the young man here was commenting earlier that there is the age of communication, we would agree and add another aspect to it, and that is you are always living in the age, especially now, the age of energy resource management. That is what your wars are about, fighting for energy resources that are based on the fear that there will be a lack, there is a lack, and there shall be none eventually. And then they will fight over perhaps another source of energy. You yourselves want more energy, whether it is physical or emotional. If you are feeling down and upset and devastated, then you would like to have more happy energy. And so, what are you plugged into? If you are not feeling good, you are plugged into not feeling good. You say, I am not a machine, I simply cannot be unplugged and plugged in. Really? Let us say that you suddenly got the opposite news of something that is happening very bad, let us say in your life right now. And suddenly you were to receive a message in your wonderful phones here that you have something very wonderful happening in your life. Suddenly you will be plugged into that belief, that truth. Because your faith is in that source. And if suddenly, 5 minutes later after your jubilation, you were told it was just a hoax, actually that did not happen, suddenly you'll be plugged into that again. Now you are plugged into anger, that someone has deceived you, that things are better now. We offer you this consideration this evening. On what personal mastery, self-mastery is, and perhaps mastery of life. What is personal freedom and personal mastery? Perhaps you will try this one on for size. Personal mastery and personal freedom. that you can think of how you wish to feel, and then you are able to feel it. Do you think there is a greater self-mastery than that? Do you think your accomplishments in the world will teach you that? Or that you are open to seeing that, feeling that, surrendering to that? You do not have to move a muscle for this kind of mastery. Many of you will feel that you cannot do this, or it is not real. You say, how can I feel good when such has happened? That is up to you. Perhaps if you take the word good out of it and replace it with the word more peace. Is there a way to have more peace through what you are experiencing currently? Certainly there is always room for more peace within you. And if you have more peace, are you dishonoring what has occurred in your life, or are you honoring the unfolding of your path? Do you not wish to honor the unfolding of your path? Is this something you think of when you wake up in the morning from your blessed sleep? What if you took a few moments before your feet have touched the floor of your bedrooms, when your eyes open, to take a breath and think of these things? Do you think it will empower your day or disempower your day? Do you think it shall bring you more peace or less peace? You do not need to read any book or go anywhere to answer that question. You have an inner knower. Run it through your database and filters what we are saying. They are running through them anyway. And so as your communication with yourself becomes free from blame or victimhood or circumstance, we shall repeat it. As your internal communication becomes free of victimhood, blame, or circumstance, you shall then replace it with a language of self-mastery, personal freedom, and in honoring, simply put, that you are a sensible person that has decided it is better to not go insane. For it seems to be very easy to go insane in some of your life's troubles, does it not? That you are choosing sanity powerfully for yourself. If you are not choosing sanity for yourself, my friends, it is very clear what you are choosing. And you know it by the feeling within you. And so breathe very deeply. As often as you can remember to. And begin to consider that God is happening all around you and within you, always. What other option shall you have that shall bring you some peace or further wisdom? Then you are venturing into the realms of right and wrong, shoulds and shouldn'ts, should haves or shoulds, or could haves, or would haves. Or if only they had, or had not, I wouldn't be here. Remember, when you run that through your system, how many times you have said, if only that person had not done that. That means that you do not believe that you co-created this reality. And if that is the case, and you are entitled to any belief that you hold, return to your logic and see if that seems to unravel the bad feelings you are having. This is not only what keeps you human, but also reminds you of your divinity. You are not spiritual beings having a human experience. You are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience. You have too many bags attached to these words: human experience, earthly, and ego, and all of this. Let it go. Turn your attention to a fact that you could make real for yourself, and that is, there is divine perfection happening at this very moment, and that there is nothing to protect anymore. For all that protection that you have been doing, it seems as though a lot of people got past your barriers, and your solution is to have more walls. And so you have the individual who is now president. Bless you.